Trump ignores the First Amendment and says those who criticize the Supreme Court should be tossed in jail.
Oh
Now,
boy, I'm so excited about. We talked about Hitler in the last one, but this is literally a thing Hitler fucking did.
The fascism thing, where you like make the media the enemy of the people and jail media that disagrees with you.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Okay.
God, imagine that.
I forgot to. I swear I am not doing this on purpose. I'm not just testing my editor. I'm not just being a jerk, but I forgot to do the news stories that we're not covering because there are things that I want to talk about that we are actually not covering tonight in news stories. So first off, InfoWars is being auctioned off to help pay some of Jones' $1.5 billion in damages. That was a ruling that came down yesterday. So no more InfoWars. They're being auctioned off.
Can we watch the video of Alex Jones crying?
I wish we could. I don't have it queued up though. I'm sorry.
That is unfortunate. I really like that video for reasons I don't think I need to get into.
It's very sexually satisfying.
It is. It makes me feel things that I thought I could never feel. But I feel them very hard when he cries. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of the news item so we can talk about this. But then the rest is about abortion. So these were two separate stories that it took me longer than I care to admit to realize they were two separate stories and not the same story, because like I Googled the headline for one and it came up with the other one. And it took me a while to figure this out. But so in Ohio, there was a woman who was charged with a felony after she had a miscarriage at home. Her water broke prematurely. The fetus was not going to survive. The doctors told her that. She went to several trips to the hospital, but like people wouldn't just give her an abortion. There had to be like they were following the anti-abortion regulations or whatever. Eventually what happened was she miscarried at home in her toilet, and she flushed it because what the fuck else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, what's the other option?
And because she flushed it, she was charged with abuse of a corpse, which is the charge that comes with potentially a year in prison and a $2,500 fine. Separate from that, there was a South Carolina woman who was charged with murder after she had a miscarriage. She miscarried at her apartment. She had to be taken to the hospital where she was then questioned by police. And then several weeks later, she was arrested and charged with homicide by child abuse. She spent 22 days in jail. And then she was under house arrest for 13 months before a grand jury finally cleared her of the charges. But like, this is the post-Roe world. Like someone has a miscarriage, like someone who wants to have a baby has a miscarriage, an intensely traumatizing event. And then she gets police showing up being like, yeah, we're charging you with murder for having a fucking miscarriage. Something that's completely beyond your goddamn control.
We call that a miscarriage of justice. Just saying.
100%.
Yeah,
I get that was a joke, but it's also not a joke.
It's also 100% true. Like, it's a joke, but that's exactly what it is. It's what happens. It's fucking gross.
It's disgusting. It's horrible. And this is why, like, people bring up the statistics. So, like, abortions, like 99% of abortions are elective. It's not because of the health of the mother. It's like, who fucking cares? The fact that, like the people that, like, when it isn't a case of the health of the mother where they're denied health care, like a couple women in Georgia died recently because they were denied abortion because it was actually health care. It would have saved their fucking lives, but they were denied that care because the doctors were worried about going to jail and losing their license if they provided that care.
And that's the thing. So have you seen the Charlie Kirk video of him at Jubilee?
No, I haven't. Okay, about the Jubilee thing, I think it's fucking hilarious that for the conservative side, they actually went to a professional content creator who, like, makes his living responding to those exact points. And then for the liberal side, they just got some random 17-year-old. So, like, they got a literal fucking...
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Nope.
No? Okay.
The random 17-year-old is a TikTok influencer who focuses on political content with almost, he's got 715,000 subscribers.
Okay.
They
maybe it's fair then.
They actually did get a really, really strong person there. And when that person came down, so during the Charlie Kirk video, that guy is one of the ones that does part of his debate with Charlie Kirk, like everybody else tries to in that 20 minutes. When he comes down, he fucking hammers and drills Charlie down into the goddamn ground. And it is hilariously cathartic.
Okay. Back to what you were saying about it.
So when Charlie had his during that whole thing, he argues heavily that anybody who performs an abortion needs to go to jail, needs to be prosecuted, needs to be tried for murder. Mm-hmm. He also talks a lot about the different types of people he would love to kill, which is really, really weird. There's also a moment where he says specifically that if his 10-year-old daughter got raped...
Oh, yep.
If his 10-year-old daughter got raped, she should be forced to carry the child to term. And luckily, that is at the end of the abortion segment of his debate, so I didn't have to watch more of that fucking thing during that moment. But if the video does really well, then I guess I'll have to continue watching more of the stupid fucking thing. Anyway, point is, it's really, really weird to me that people like Charlie Kirk salivate over, oh God, I would love to fucking kill those people who do abortions, those people who harm children. He would love to kill them. But actual mothers die as a result of his ideology, as a direct result of his ideology.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's disgusting. It's horrifying. And this is why abortion, like who fucking cares whether it's elective or not? The fact that like doctors are afraid to give life-saving medical treatment to people based on these anti-abortion laws, it's just fucking gross. So like that is why we talk about how it's a bodily autonomy thing. It's about, you know, the right of the women to, or the pregnant people to access health care. It should be a choice between them and their health care providers. It, like, politicians they should have no fucking say in the matter. Because anytime they do, like, bureaucracy gets involved. There's extra paperwork that literally costs people their lives, because it takes too long to get the paperwork and the approval to give the procedure when it actually is necessary for life-saving medical care. So it's like, no, just leave it up to the doctors and their patients. Let the doctors and their patients make that decision for them. So yeah, normally I wouldn't go back to the news stories that we're not going to cover for stuff like that, but I feel like this is an important thing, is especially like it's on the ballot in Florida right now. And like Ron DeSantis is like, this is another news item that I didn't pull, but like DeSantis is lobbying a massive disinformation campaign about it and making it sound like it's actually like if the amendment to the state constitution passes, it's going to be bad for women somehow. And so like, yeah, it's just gross. Anyway, we'll get back to the news. So I think Fennec didn't want to hear this, so he was muting until we were done with that. So Jassa, you can let Fennec know that they can unmute now. We're going to get back to the news. Orla Seraph says elective only means pre-planned, not unnecessary. Yeah, no, there's elective is a very broad term that can have different definitions. But getting back to the news, Trump ignores the First Amendment and says those who criticize the Supreme Court should be tossed in jail. Now, lest anyone accuse us of like blowing this out of proportion, saying that he didn't actually say this, I actually clipped him saying this, and here we go. That was the wrong button. That was the wrong button.
That was the
I'm sorry.
button.
Yep, I let it play because that's such a beautiful clip. But yeah, this is the actual clip.
They were very brave, the Supreme Court, very brave, and they take a lot of hits because of it. It should be illegal what happens. You know, you have these guys like playing the ref, like the great Bobby Knight, these people should be put in jail the way they talk about our judges and our justices.
Yeah. So he says, if you criticize the Supreme Court, you should be tossed in jail. Literally right out of the fascist playbook.
Yeah,
you
at that
shall
point,
not.
maybe he should just.
You shall not criticize the government authority. Like, that is fascism.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag sorry not sorry.
I really do not like Dolan Tramp.
Dolan Tramp?
I do not like Dolan Tramp.
I don't know what that means.
So a long time ago, there was a very, very shitty webcomic about one Dolan Duck. It was a parody of Donald Duck, and it's used very, very awful speech patterns. And there were all kinds of strange things to go with it. There were other parody characters, like one called Spooderman and Gooby for, Goofy. So I'm playing on that for people who remember Dolan Duck, and then Tramp because I needed a way to fuck up his last name too. So why not go ahead and just call him that?
Okay, sure. Why not? Okay, so yeah. So he literally said that if you criticize the Supreme Court, you should be tossed in jail. So like, when you talk about bring this up. When somebody says they're a free speech absolutist, like, are you voting for Trump, the guy who said that you should be tossed in jail for exercising your right to free speech?
Well, no, but maybe, possibly.
Yeah. So he suggested.
Look, I just like that he speaks his mind. Okay.
He suggested that it should be illegal to rebuke judicial decisions or try and advocate in favor of a certain decision. He didn't suggest it. He just outright said it. That's not suggesting it would be like the whole, won't someone rid me of this meddlesome...
Yeah, won't someone rid me of this meddlesome priest?
Yeah, like that is suggesting. Not very subtly, but that would be suggesting. This was just outright stating it.
Suggesting.
This was just outright stating it. Then they quote him saying these people should be put in jail the way they talk about our judges and our justices, trying to get them to sway their vote, sway their decision. So kind of like he did anytime he was on trial. They bring that up later in the article. The former president was referring to the backlash the Supreme Court received after overturning Roe versus Wade in June 2022, which led to actual people dying. Just saying. He called the court very brave for making a decision that everybody wanted. I bet you the people who died didn't want that decision.
Also, he says that about everything that he does. He uses the language first, everybody wanted it, and then he always follows it up with, nobody said it could be done. It was done. I did it. Every single time. Without fail.
Yeah. Under the First Amendment, people have the right to complain about government officials and decisions. Trump himself has been safeguarded by this rule when during his New York criminal trial, Trump called Justice Juan Merchan highly conflicted. The former president claimed that District Court Judge Tanya Chutkan was highly partisan and very biased and unfair because she warned him not to make inflammatory statements about the case. Which is just like, his lawyers should have been warning him about that. They shouldn't have even gotten to the judge. Trump has also criticized federal appeals courts. He once called the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals a complete and total disaster with a horrible reputation and claimed the judges were making our country unsafe. So I love how this article is just like not pulling its punches in pointing out that like, yeah, no, he's telling you that you're not allowed to criticize the Supreme Court. But like, he's got a very rich history of complaining about judges and criticizing judicial decisions and criticizing judges in advance of those decisions in an attempt to influence those decisions. The former president stood in front of a crowd of supporters on Monday evening to insinuate it is not appropriate to criticize the Supreme Court, which is comprised of lifetime appointed and not elected justices. He didn't insinuate it. He just said it. This is where they do pull their punches.
This is where they're doing the we want to be protected in legalese terms,
Yeah,
even though you don't have to.
He didn't fucking insinuate it. He's outright said it. I have the clip. I can play it again. Or I can't.
They were very brave, the Supreme Court, very brave, and they take a lot of hits because of it. It should be illegal what happens. You know, you have these guys like playing the ref, like the great Bobby Knight. These people should be put in jail the way they talk about our judges and our justices.
That's not insinuation. That's just saying.
That's just saying that it needs to happen.
That is literally just saying, you criticize the people who side with me, you go to jail.
Mm-hmm. There's no ifs, ands, or buts there. Just saying, it is such a shame that this happens. These people should be jailed.
He also criticized the Democrats' desire to pack the court or appoint more judges to balance the conservative to liberal ratio. He claimed that Vice President Kamala Harris wants to make the court 25 justices. It's unclear where that figure originated.
25? Where the fuck is he pulling that from?
I don't know. Like,
what?
You've given me a number before. Like, what is it if it was actually appropriate to, like, representation of the entire...
So if we had accurate, it would be based on the amount of districts that we have.
Yes.
And there are 13 judicial districts.
So there should be 13 judges.
There should be 13 judges because there are 13 judicial districts.
I recall you saying that before, but I didn't remember the exact number. So I'm like, is it 25? No, it's 13.
No, it's not. It's not 25.
But even so, like, Biden's
judicial
plan...
judicial circuits, not districts. But yeah, same idea.
Circuits, yeah. So Biden's plan is like every president appoints a new justice every 2 years to serve for 18 years. And like, again, I don't know how that would impact the justices that are already there, but I like that idea. But then it ends with, however, given Congress would need to approve the addition of justices, it is unlikely to happen. This is why it's so important to get out and vote. Like, even like the down ticket stuff, like we're going to get to some down ticket stuff in the next news item. But it's super important to get out to vote, because like, if the Democrats have a supermajority, there's actually a chance of getting Supreme Court reform passed.
And accelerationism
just
does
a
not
reminder
get you any closer to that.
Progress Only is running for a local office, so it's important to vote in your local elections as well, because the conservatives are like, the Republicans will run candidates in those things that a lot of people just don't turn out for, and high turnout always favors the Democrats, and that's literally why Republicans are in favor of all these voter suppression tactics. Like, it is now illegal to give out water to people waiting in line to vote in some places, because they know if people are able to get out and vote, they will vote Democrat. Like, Democrats are favored by more people voting, because Democrats being in charge is better for more people.
Yup.
Okay, Rosina. Oh, God damn it! You're just fucking with me now, Rosina. Come on, Rosina. God's minion Keller. Fuck you for making me try and say that.
Wait, hold on, Rosina. Is that a Fofofogaz reference from fucking Homestar Runner?
Probably.
Is that actually Fofofogaz?
I don't know. I don't know Homestar Runner, but I am putting my wizard hat on because somebody redeemed a hat. It says, remember when Trump would make racist statements about judges and then claim the judge should recuse themselves from the case due to bias and not liking the racist statements? Yeah. Yep, I remember that.
Rosina says, yes, it is. Hey!
Suris got the reference. I did not.
Strong bad reference from Homestar Runner. It's, so Strong Bad had this, he's one of the characters in the Homestar Runner series, and he had a responding to emails section. This is like early internet, when internet video required your own hosting site and YouTube didn't exist. So people would send in emails for Homestar Runner to respond to, because that was a very novel thing at the time. So when Strong Bad would respond to these, you would always put in like your name, your location, and then you would say, hey, like, how do you type with boxing gloves on? Because the character always had boxing gloves. One person put in their name as Fofogods. They just like face rolled their keyboard, and Strong Bad tried to pronounce it and then tried to make a fucking techno song out of it.
Wayne Cotton 97 says,
Yeah, 110%. I know where I came from. I am proud of it.
Fair enough.
I love old Homestar Runner cartoons. They're fucking great.
I can't say that I'm familiar with them.
They're worth a watch.
I should probably mention at some point that all 3 of my stories came to me from my anonymous source, who seems to be really good at picking stories that I will actually cover, because they're not the only one that sends me stories, but they're the ones that I pick most often. So I don't know, we're just on the same page, anonymous guy. Or girl.
Anonymous.
Or non-binary person. You'll never know, because I'll never tell, because they're anonymous.
Dun dun dun.
I feel like saying they're a guy is not that doxing. There's like that's almost half the population.
Yeah, it is 49% of the population. It's true.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Hello.
Rosina, before we go on to the next story, Rosina says, I said, come on. How do you say that word?
Gods.
Sure. Gods.
Everybody to the limit. Everybody to the limit. Everybody come on, gods.
That's another meme that I'm not getting. Okay,
that's
fine.
It's from that episode.
Fuck you, Rosina.
It's from that episode.
Okay. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Suris is my meme translator.
Hey, just wanted to give a quick thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who help keep me afloat and help keep this channel going. YouTube and Twitch are wonderful platforms, but at the end of the day, stability is not one of their strong suits. If you want to support my channel, then obviously Patreon is one of the best ways of doing that. Link is in the description. But I do want to personally thank everybody who has contributed to the channel. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Autumn and Angel, Nixie Chan, Agamotto, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fireshard. And everyone else who supports my channel and lets me do what I do full time. This is a dream job of mine that I never believed that I would be able to take full time, and with your help, I've been able to do it. So thank you so very much for that. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you all enjoy, and I hope you all are having a wonderful time. I will see you all in the next one, hopefully.